والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى.
The first meeting with Jibreel, the first meeting was on earth, yes? Where did he see him? On the highest horizon. وَهُوَ بِالْأُفُقِ الْأَعْلَى. I'm going to pretend like I'm talking to the ancient Arabs. I'm going to pretend all of you are ancient Arabs and you understand the sky. Okay? He saw Jibreel on the highest horizon, perfectly even. Istawa. Perfectly even means not this way, not this way. Perfectly above. Just as perfectly as you see a najm right above your head in the winter months, وَالنَّجْمِ إِذَا هَوَى. Now, he descended and got close. ثُمَّ دَنَا. The Jibreel started coming down, closer. Just as you see Pleiades, which is called what? An-Najm. Pleiades is called An-Najm. Just as Pleiades descends to the west, not to the western side, appearing closer and closer, and the Arabic word for it coming closer and coming down is إِذَا هَوَى. So, just like the Arab sees the star coming down, I want you to know it is as clear as the Prophet seeing Jibreel coming down. Now, he hovered himself so close to the Prophet ﷺ, تَدَلَّى. ثُمَّ دَنَا فَتَدَلَّى. Tadalla comes from the Arabic word dalwun. Dalwun means a bucket. Have you heard the word dalwu today? Where's dalwu? The bucket constellation. And what happens when the star constellation comes all the way down? It gets to the dalwu. Just as you look for the najm reaching dalwu, Jibreel alayhi salam tadalla. He came down. Okay. Then he was bound in ultimate fraternity with the Prophet ﷺ. Remember when I described Qaba Qawsayn? They got so close. Remember when I said they used to take two bows and arrows, combine them together and shoot? We are now forever joined. Just like you know that there are two stars joined together on the two ends of the horizon, just like that, you should know Muhammadur Rasulullah ﷺ is forever joined with Jibreel. They're joined together. Now, what happens with the two stars that are joined together? When one falls, when one comes down, the other goes up, right? Right? Okay. By the way, Nouman wa Raqib, that's what they used to call the two stars that are related to each other. One was called Naw, the other was called Raqib. Anyway, the descent of Jibreel alayhi salam means the rise of the final messenger. I'll say that again. The coming down of Jibreel means the rising of the Prophet ﷺ. His dunu means the bi'tha of Rasulullah ﷺ. Just like the coming down of Najm means the rising of Rami. You should understand this now. Do you see what Allah is doing? Allah is taking a physical phenomenon and He's describing a powerful spiritual reality. Piece by piece by piece. They can never look at the star the same way again. They have been robbed of looking at the sky and not thinking about the Prophet ﷺ and of revelation. It's been taken over. It's been rebranded. The sky has been rebranded as the imagery for revelation. Let's keep going. The messenger, okay, the second time, Jibreel alayhi salam was high or low the second time? He was low. In the second season, summer season, where is Najm? It's low, right? Jibreel alayhi salam, he saw him low, just like you will see in the summer that Najm is going to be low on the horizon, on the eastern horizon. This low horizon viewing was momentary, meaning Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam could not stay there. He could only be there for a few moments because he has to come back and finish his mission. Just like when you look at the Najm in the eastern horizon, you can only see it for a few moments because what's coming? The sun is coming and it's going to disappear. Okay? The Prophet ﷺ looked out towards the farthest tree. What was that called? Sidratul Muntaha. Just like you look for the farthest eastern horizon to find the Najm. By the way, in Syriac tradition, they thought that heaven is in the east, interestingly. The Prophet sees him by the tree of finality near the garden of refuge, right? The tree of finality near the garden of refuge. And you see a Najm and on the horizon, and you know new life and greenery is about to sprout. What's the connection here? He sees him by a tree. And when summer's coming, leaves are coming, greenery's coming, life is coming. Just like you associate the rise of the Najm from the east with new life, Rasul ﷺ saw Jibreel by the tree of permanent life. The Prophet ﷺ's view of Jibreel was overcast. How was it overcast? You remember? He was seeing the Sidra, and he was seeing Jibreel, and then what happened? إِذْ يَغْشَى السِّدْرَةَ مَا يَغْشَى. Something came and took over and completely overshadowed. And just when you're looking at the Najm on the east, what happens? What comes right behind it? The sun. The Prophet ﷺ was still able to look at what cast over. Because when the sun, when the new light came, or whatever he saw came, did his eyes deviate? No. But you can't even handle looking at the sun. Because when you're looking at Najm, you're like, oh, that looks beautiful. Oh no, Fajr's here. I can't look at the sun anymore. Too much light. You have to look away. The Prophet didn't look away. You can't even handle one star of this earth, which is the sun, staring at it directly because it's too close. And Rasul ﷺ saw something much more than this sun, and his eyes didn't turn away. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is similar to Allah says, when lightning strikes, they almost become blinded by the light, or when somebody takes a flash photo, you're like, you can't handle that much light. It's overexposure. That's what he's saying. The Prophet ﷺ's eyes couldn't get overexposed. His eyes are stronger than any eyes Allah ever created for human beings. They're able to handle something no other human being can. Okay? Now, the first sighting was tolerated by the eyes, but needed the strength of the heart. What does that mean? When he saw him in the night, he could see Jibreel alayhi salam. It's not like he couldn't look. He could look, but it was overwhelming for his heart. The eyes weren't overwhelmed, but the heart could have been overwhelmed. But he said, مَا كَذَبَ الْفُؤَادُ مَا رَأَى. The first time. But the second time, this was even harder, because what he had to see was something so much more overwhelming that the eyes would want to turn away, but his eyes didn't turn away. مَا زَاغَ الْبَصَرُ وَمَا طَغَى. What seems to be the focus on all of this? Let me read this all to you. Finally, the Prophet ﷺ was thus able to see, internalize, and understand, meaning ra'a, something no other human being could. You in no way could compare to the power of vision endowed to him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And yet the irony is that with your limited sight, أَفَتُمَارُونَهُ عَلَى مَا يَرَى, you're going to doubt him about what he sees? You're going to say, oh, I don't know what he saw. Do you know the caliber of your vision compared to the caliber of his vision? أَفَتُمَارُونَهُ عَلَى مَا يَرَى. No, he's the one who sees like no other human being can. The grandest thing you can see is the stars in the rising sun, and that had to be used as a minuscule illustration to describe something so much more grand that makes these stars nothing. In fact, the heavens and the earth became something minuscule. Jibreel alayhi salam just became like one star in the horizon for what the Prophet ﷺ saw. Explain. Allah says elsewhere, Allah is not shy to give even the smallest example. In this case, the stars and the sun became the smallest example to describe something so much bigger. Subhanallah. ما زاغ البصر وما طغى لقد رأى من آيات ربه الكبرى. Let's come back to the world, this world. When Jibreel alayhi salam took him on this journey and he came back, the kuffar said, oh, we're supposed to believe that? We're supposed to believe that he saw this? And the way Allah responds to you questioning his vision and you questioning his seeing is, he sees like no human being has ever seen. And he understands, because seeing also means understanding, right? He understands like no human being could ever understand. You are in no position to question it. This is one of the most incredible depictions in brief language of so many celestial phenomenon, so many things in the sky that are happening, all captured in just وَالنَّجْمِ إِذَا هَوَى. Just that. And the entire experience of the Prophet ﷺ is superimposed on what's happening in the sky. I told you one concept in the Quran is there's a physical phenomenon and it's connected to a spiritual reality. I hope you see a demonstration of that. What time is it now? Okay. Take a good 10-minute break and process what I just said, and we're going to have our final session.